Welcome to Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. I'm, of course, Dr. Cush, along with my barback Kyle. I'm not a real doctor, but I did spend almost 2 decades running some of LA's best bars. After years of teaching classes and training bartenders, I want to demystify the cocktail world for you. Let's try a few new things as I open up my bar to everybody. Belly up, chat, and let's have a drink. Yes! We've done it. We are back. Oh boy, are we... just, don't worry about what that is. Welcome everybody to Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. This is Dr. Cush here, hanging out with you guys. We are going to be making a cocktail tonight. What do we do? Literally, what else do we do on this planet? We get in front of the potential 8 billion people on this planet. Usually about 30 people show up, and we make cocktails and we hang out and we have a fun time. That's what we're doing tonight. I'm gonna tell you guys little stories. I'm gonna tell you guys about some of my fears, some of the things that absolutely haunt me when I am trying desperately to listen to my very nice podcasts and go to sleep. That being said, I recently went to a place called South Carolina, the Palmetto State. Now, I always thought palmetto was like a big old fruit. That is not. I think that's a pomelo. I thought South Carolina was all about their big old fat grapefruits. That is not what they are. Palmetto apparently is some sort of tree. I didn't know anything about it. I just recently went to the Palmetto State to teach a cocktail class. Oh, by the way, should I do a sales pitch? Should I do sales pitch up here? By the way, if you guys are ever looking for somebody to come teach a cocktail class to you and your ilk, the people that you like hang out with all the time, you don't know much about cocktails, you need somebody to tell you teach a class. This is my second class I'm doing right in a row, so I'm going to slur just a touch. If you ever need somebody to teach you a class in cocktailing, you can reach out to me at kushtender.com. Pitch cam. Anyway, I was there teaching a cocktail class to a lovely group of people. They wanted something that exemplified they weren't all from South Carolina. In fact, I don't think any of them were from South Carolina. They wanted something that exemplified South Carolina, and I had to look it up. And I learned what the state drink of South Carolina was. And that is, and I'm not joking about this, it sounds like it could go one of two ways. It's a cocktail called the sweet tea and vodka. Now, that might sound complex to you guys. Like, how would I ever know what goes into a sweet tea and vodka? Like, where would I even begin to collect those recipes? That recipe. It's actually fairly simple. It's South Carolina sweet tea, and then you put in some vodka. Obviously, we could have done that. We easily could have just done that for this class. I decided to sort of bump it up a little bit, and this is going to be an original from Dr. Cush. Not super original, kind of original cocktail that is called, oh shoot, let me just make sure I have it. I do. Whew. This is an original cocktail from Dr. Cush called the South Carolina 75. Again, every cocktail is a version of another cocktail. Why even hide it? This is a French 75 that is made with some South Carolina sweet tea. Why do we show up? Just to watch me change out 1 or 2 ingredients in a cocktail? Yes, that is all cocktailing is. So fear not. That's what we're doing tonight. Let me say hello to the people here. Debbie Clark says good night. Bootepia says thanks, DC. Moose also wishes DC some sweet dreams. Tammy laughs. Utopia laughs. Non-touchable wants everybody to know that good night. Just cut a 25 kg block of ice. These were comments from earlier. If you can't tell, we are not exactly live. I am doing this live without any cuts. You can tell. I would have normally cut out the fact that I was checking to see if I had made simple syrup earlier. This is not a live show, but it is a live show in the fact that I am not going to edit this. It is a live show in the fact that I'm going to do this the laziest way possible. I'm going to take my years and years of knowledge and just spew it at you. Just really just throw it at you. There you go. You guys get all of that. And I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is put it on the internet. So thank you guys for showing up live to this show that I didn't even have the decency to show up live to. So anyway, this is a drink from Tuesday. Very delicious. Where should I put it? Put it back here on the back bar. Kyle, it might be worthwhile to come check and see if that is still there. If I have not retrieved it. We're making the South Carolina 75 tonight. It is a very simple drink based off of a great cocktail from the turn of the century called the French 75. The French 75, of course, named after not just 75 French dudes that got in line and all decided they were going to put one ingredient into a cocktail. That does sound like a really kind of fun experiment. I have a feeling, I have a very good friend that I play tennis with all the time. Very, very French. He comes over every once in a while. He wants to play a game called pétanque. Pétanque. You guys know what pétanque is? I didn't. I had no idea. No idea what pétanque is. It is exactly bocce. It's bocce ball. It's French bocce ball. And the only discernible difference that I can tell between pétanque and bocce is usually played with Prosecco and pétanque is played with Pernod and soda water. It's the only difference I can. He will keep telling me. My friend Guillaume will tell me these are different games. Pétanque and bocce, different games. The only difference I can tell so far, one has Prosecco and one has Pernod. So I assume that if we made a French 75 and we let 75 French people get in there and just make a drink by adding one ingredient, I assume it would be a lot of Pernod, which is very absinthe. Anyway, that is not what it is. It was named after a French gun that shot a 75 caliber bullet. Some of you gun people will be able to tell me what that is, because I have no idea. I think that's big. I think it like a 45 caliber is a gun that I've heard of. That's all the gangsters use that. They use like or the cowboys use the 45, and then I do believe that the gangsters use a 22. So this is like a cowboy and a gangster together, adding all of their caliber together to shoot an enemy, and this seems big. The French 75 also holds a distinction for being the only cocktail that I have ever banned from any of my bars. People drank French 75s, and then they would get far too drunk to be there. And so I had to start saying, we're not doing this anymore, guys. We cannot do this anymore. We have to take this cocktail right off because it's too much. So let's get into it. The South Carolina 75, we are just following a recipe and we're switching out one ingredient for another, finding a way to balance it out, and then ending up with something different. So, I'll tell you as we make it. Dang, I should have cleaned up my tins from the other day. Reuse a little ice. We're going to be shaking this cocktail, but we're also going to be adding some champagne. So if you are listening to the audio-only version of this, whatever is this a podcast? Can we have a discussion at some point on whether or not Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks is a podcast or not? I like to think of it as like a show, but I think that everything is a podcast now. I really think that if Jimmy Kimmel had started his show today, it'd be like the Jimmy Kimmel podcast with special guest, Philly Fillerson. I don't know if this is a podcast. If you're listening to the audio version only, and I forget to mention that you want to add the champagne at the end, do not add the champagne before you start shaking. You start agitating those little yeasties, and they are going to get really angry. And more importantly, I'm not afraid of an angry yeast. I'm afraid of a very farty yeast. We do not need extra farty yeasts getting in here. So let's get into this. Very, very simple cocktail. Incredibly simple. And it does start off with one of the ingredients that's sometimes, we don't give it proper. we kind of poo-poo this this ingredient, but because of course this is a South Carolina 75, a French 75 has gin. But if we really think about it, gin is just flavored vodka, juniper flavored vodka, more or less. We're going to start off with something different. We're going to start off with this guy right here. This is vodka. This is broken shed vodka. Now, what's interesting about broken shed vodka? I really kind of like it. It is, I believe, let me just check real quick. I believe that this is made from milk. You can make vodka from just about anything. And I do believe that this is made from milk. Now, it doesn't say that anywhere. Gluten-free, that's good. Additive-free, that's just vodka. I don't know. I thought it was made from milk, but maybe it's not made from milk. Anyway, you can make vodka from milk if you'd like. We're just trying to get rid of bottles. So we're going to start over here with New Zealand's finest vodka? Question mark? I don't know. Smells a little milky. Smells nice. We're going to start over here with some vodka. We're going to throw in 1 ounce, please, of some vodka. Pours a little like milk, too. It's a little slow. Gosh, we're so close. I love getting rid of bottles. It's like my favorite thing. When we finish a bottle, obviously not something that I really want back here. I hate when that happens, but like a bottle that I haven't even thought. I think I've had that bottle since the bar opened. I think that was a gift from my friend Carl. We have 1 ounce of vodka in here. We now are going to start to build a French 75. Cool. So we have the vodka in here, right there. We're going to reach out here and grab this. Now, I should have this in a shaker bottle, but I don't. This is not just, it seems like we drink a lot of vodka in here. This is just a bottle of upcycled, but this is PSU Lemon. PSU Lemon is just pseudo lemon juice. We want to throw in 3/4 of an ounce of some lemon juice. So this is just pseudo lemon juice. We just make it from the peels of the lemon plus a little citric acid, a little sugar, and a little bit of water. Then we blend it. I think that's it. Yeah. Citric acid, sugar, lemon peels. Put that into a bag. Let all the oleosaccharin, the oleocitrate come out. And then we add a little bit of water after we blend it. That's all it is. That's all there is to it. So there's nothing in here that'll go bad. We're going to be putting in 3/4 of an ounce of some lemon juice. I have the lime juice little squeezer here. I've filled it up between the last show and this show. But I have no idea where my other shaker is. Okay. All right. This is where we start to veer off. Now, normally a French 75 just has a little bit of simple syrup in it. It's a very simple drink. It is really just a gin sour with some soda water or with some champagne on top. That's all a French 75 is. This is a little different. I wanted to add a little bit of that good flair. So I did have Kyle make me a little bit of tea. This is just regular old, plain old black tea. But we're going to make this into sweet tea. So how do we do that? I didn't think about this before we started. Let's go ahead and just add equal parts. We're going to be adding this into a different thing, so we just have a little sweet tea. We're going to be adding equal parts of some tea. And normally sugar, but here we are. I have simple syrup instead. So we're going to add equal parts of that and simple syrup. This is a 1-to-1 simple syrup. We might add just a touch more simple syrup than we would need so that we can have a really delicious, really kind of fun version of sweet tea that we can add into a cocktail. Now, when I made this in South Carolina, to my friends that I made out there that hired me to be a live teaching bartender, if you ever need somebody like that, Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks will come to your place. Go to kushtender.com. We're going to taste to see how this does. Sweet tea. Ooh, that is sweet tea. That's what we want. We want to have that tea flavor, but it's got to be really sweet. The tea that I had delivered to me was delivered to me by a man with an incredibly thick accent. So I feel like that was like the most authentic version of sweet tea. I feel like if somebody comes in, they're like, "Yo, what's up, bro? Did you order the sweet tea?" Not interested. But if they're like, "Hey, y'all, I was just walking by and I noticed that there was a distinct lack of some sweet tea, and I just happen to have some. Would you mind imbibing with me on some of this delicious sweet tea from the Palmetto State?" That's sweet tea. That's what you need. So maybe just like practice that accent. I have some very thick sweet tea. We're going to be putting in half an ounce of some sweet tea. There we go. Half an ounce of some sweet tea. And because we don't want this to be super tea, like too tea, too tea. We don't want this to be like, I believe the Italians would say troppo tea. We don't want this to be too much tea. We are going to add just a touch more of simple syrup. So we're going to add 3/4 of an ounce of some simple syrup. There we go. What have we done there? This is not rocket science. This is just bartending, guys. We have balanced out our sour and our sweet. If you have a really nice version of lemon juice like we do here, our pseudo juice, delicious, very good. It should balance really well with equal parts simple syrup, 2 to 1, 1 to 1, 1 to 1. 1 part lemon, 1 part sour. That can't be true. 1 part lemon, 1 part simple syrup. If you are making your simple syrup right, that should balance each other out really well. All right, that's why I do 1 to 1. Also, much easier to make, and I have all my recipes memorized that way. So we got that going on. I do certainly smell the tea in here. If you are not smelling the tea in here, then you probably did not make strong enough tea. And I do think you need to practice your South Carolina accent. All right, just let the words roll off your mouth. I think it's important that if you are going to be making distilling to be seeping your tea, I do believe it is important to talk as slow as possible. And maybe grow a mustache. The guy had this guy looked like Colonel Sanders that delivered the tea to me. It was spectacular. This is a cocktail right here. You can drink this. It's a little light in the vodka. If you want, you can just bump up the vodka a little bit. You got like yourself a tea lemon drop. You can't go wrong with that. That sounds pretty good. That's not how we're ending this one though. It's not what we're doing. We're gonna go ahead and add a full cadre of, so I don't know if cadre is the right word, a full assortment of ice cubes. How did I not think of this one? A menagerie. We're going to be adding a full menagerie of some ice cubes. There we go. It's hotter than a preacher on a summer day. I don't know much about the South. I grew up in the other South. I grew up in Phoenix. That's not the South. Nice shake. You done it? Get that going. Oh yeah, look at those drops. Boy, oh boy. You don't want to waste any bit of this delicious Kyle Tender made sweet tea. We're going to reach down here. This is going to be served. I don't know how the good people of the Palmetto State feel about this glass. I know that it is most likely not their state glass. But because I wanted to keep it, as the kids say, I wanted to keep it 100. Oh, does this fit? Ah, dang, it doesn't really fit. We'll have to go here then. Okay. I wanted to keep it as similar to the French 75 as I could by just adding a little bit extra. I did decide to go with a flute a champagne flute. Here, we're going to pour this right out. Oh boy, look at that. There are all kinds of great dark teas. Some of them will change the color a little bit more. I want to be completely honest with you guys because, you know, that's kind of what I do. I am shooting this currently at 11:10. 10 to 11. I can't read a watch. 10 to 11 on a Sunday night. And I did not make like full on black tea because I am what the doctors have described as caffeine sensitive. And I have a nutritionist. My nutritionist has said I am like a sensitive bear because although I may look large, I am incredibly sensitive to just about everything. You know, not like I've ever cried on this show or anything. 5 or 6 times a year. We're gonna add a touch of some champagne right up. Do that again. We're gonna add a little champagne right up here to the top. Now be careful. If you add it too fast, that champagne is gonna interact with everything else that's already in here, and you're gonna run into some overspill. Just a little overspill right there. Just baby. Just a baby overspill. That's okay. We can deal with that. And there we go. However, for this little class that I was giving in South Carolina, I was expected to be an expert. And, you know, if you're working at a dive bar, you can hand this out. It's not going to taste much different if you add a garnish, but because I wanted to, you know, put forward the entire Cushiness, all of the things that make Cush who he is, I figured I'd throw in a little garnish just to pretend as if this is something I do all the time. So we're gonna grab this lemon, this gargantuan, this like, I mean, what are we doing here, guys? Is this some sort of Monsanto monstrosity? This is a big one. We're going to grab our lemon, and we're just going to get this nice and close to our drink, and we are going to peel. Push down hard enough to get through the peel, through the pith, but not into the fruit. We're twisting this close to it because every twist, there's a little bit of oil that comes out of it. And that's what we want. We want that oil to get on top of it. If we're going to be using a garnish, we want that garnish to also add a little bit to the flavor. Push this here to the side. And then we're going to just grab this. We're going to clean our hands. Wash your hands. Every time you brush your teeth, wash your hands twice. Once before, once after. You don't want those dirty things going in your mouth. Go ahead and once it's pulled, or once it's wrapped around your finger, you want to give this just a little bing, bing. Bing, bing, bing. Just give it a little pull. That pull is going to suggest to this fruit that you are the fruit's master. And then it's going to keep its shape. Just hold it there for a second until you can start to feel that it's giving way to the shape. There we go. And then we're going to slowly, very carefully drop this in. And once it hits the bottom, then you got to do a little bit of maneuvering. I want this to go right around, hang just a touch out the side, and there you have it. Is it the most difficult drink to come up with in the world? It is not. But sometimes, and most times, in fact, all you got to do is change a little something to make the drink specialized, to make the drink personalized, to bring something extra to it. That's all you got. Just literally, I switched out 2/3 of one ingredient that normally goes into this cocktail for another ingredient that is very similar to the first ingredient. That's it. But from here, I have a brand new cocktail. You do not have to reinvent everything every time. That is unimportant. Reinventing, some people will do that, and they will do it once or twice in their entire lives. Even great bartenders, they will change one small thing, and it'll change the whole drink. Call it something different. Call it a completely different name. You don't have to call it the something 75 just because it has everything that has to do with the French 75. You don't have to do that. Every once in a while, you come across something that's just life changing. Guys like Dave Arnold are out there doing that all the time, where they are now milk washing their tea and vodka because tea and vodka don't really go that well together. So they milk wash. Okay. Dave Arnold is the exception. For most of us and those of us that are trying to create new cocktails and find new interesting things, new interesting flavor combination. All we got to do is change one little thing. If that doesn't work, change two little things, but keep a constant. The constant in this is the French 75. The difference is a little bit of tea. It looks like this. Pretty similar. Dang. We'll never win an award with that shot. But I do think that this glass is just always going to be a little too high for that shot. Maybe if we pull it back a little bit. No, because then it goes out of focus. I really like the focus that it's on right now. This is it. I should probably, honestly, the Palmetto 75 might have been even better. Who do I call about that? Change the whole thing. While I will tell you before we do this, while I was there, I did not realize this, and I don't know how many of you are from the South, but did you know that South Carolina has dinosaurs? Sorry, alligators. They have alligators. Did you know that there are alligators that are just active in South Carolina? I thought that was only a Florida thing, and I really did not care for that. I stayed on a place called Kiowa Island. Kiowa Island, known for its very nice beaches, east-facing beaches, which I'm not accustomed to. I do not like that the sun, it comes up where the water is. I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense to me. I want to see the sun set over the water. That's the nice thing. You want to get to see the sun over the water, you got to wake up before the sun's even up. I don't like that. But it's also well known for its large alligator population. My biggest fear on earth is alligators. So to all the alligators that did not eat me this last week, I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you. I don't speak a lot of alligator. It sounds like this. And then they go. And they go. Two lovely sounds. Cheers. That's it. That's what I made. The tea. Think about the tea in this situation as just the bitters, just a little bit of extra flavoring. You don't need to make the strongest tea on earth. You just need to make a tea that has a distinct flavor. I am not using black tea because I would never ever sleep again. I'm using an herbal tea. I do think a black tea works better for this one, but just pretend like I put black tea in here, and I will tell you, it's very good. Can I say it is weird? It is weird to do this show and have no idea that you guys are there. I thought that for a long time it didn't matter that the chat was going. I'd be like, yeah, I'm still just in this bar by myself doing the thing. It is nice to have you guys live there. So we'll be back here live on Saturday. So show up Saturday. Reminder to all of you guys that these classes will always remain free, but if you can't help out, there's a couple ways you can do it. I have a Patreon, I have a PayPal, and I have a Venmo. That's financial. That's great. I also have a suggestion for you. Tell your friends about the show. Maybe share some of the little bits that you like about the show. Maybe go through some of my shorts. Put them up on your stuff. I won't sue you. Put them up. Tell them where you can find me. That's a great way to do it because the more people that we get here, the less alone this whole talking to myself into a camera feels. And then the next way you can help is doing exactly what you guys are doing. Show up. We do classes Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays here at Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks, where we don't only make exotic drinks. I looked up what exotic was after I had the sign made, and it just means from another place. It just means like from somewhere else. And most of the drinks that we make here are from the United States. So Dr. Cush's domestic drinks, though, does not sound quite as good. So tell them about Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. Tell your friends about Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. But show up here Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, where we do make drinks. We do hang out as a community. And we do, whatever else we like. Hang out. There we go. That's what I have for you guys. Thank you so much for showing up. And what do we always say? Dang, I really should have got that going because there's nothing else I was doing in the meanwhile. But dang, we're gonna keep all this in. There we go. Gonna turn on. I have a thing called voice mod. That's where this all comes from.
Goodbye.
There we go. We are gonna say we're gonna look each other deep into the eyes right here. We're gonna say
Bye bye.
bye bye. Watch these names, guys. These are the Patreon people, and I'm going to see if I can't get this going right immediately because now we have too many patrons to fit on one screen. That is a good problem to have. We call those rich guy problems, and that's certainly not my deal. I am not a rich guy by any means, but it is very nice that you guys have been so generous with me. So watch all these patrons as they go by. Thank you for showing up, and I will see you guys live here on Saturday. We will do something to make sure that you guys know that we are definitely live. So as we always say...
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
All at the same time. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.